Welcome to my YouTube channel, The Engineering Sparkle, a channel where we unveil exciting profession engineering. In this channel, your safety of your life and property is important to us. So we are bringing in safety solutions to man's problem and also engineering solutions. Now, today we are going to look at a very important issue that has brought a lot of tears to the eyes of people this year. You know, we woke up this year and we started hearing sound of explosion, people getting bombs, as you can see in this video. It's so pathetic. We are not happy about it, and we definitely do not want it to happen again because your life and your property is very important to us. Today we are going to discuss gas and fire outbreak and explosion. I am your host, Engineer Queen Uche Chibo. And with me in the studio to discuss this very important issue is
I'm Dr. Kingsley Unwera.
you are welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Welcome. You've seen this video. What could have caused this? What could cause fire outbreak and a resultant gas explosion?
Okay, thank you. First, let me begin by placing on record my heartfelt condolences to all those who suffered losses, loss of loved ones, and injury. It's really a painful moment for them, and we empathize with them deeply. Now, looking at the subject matter on the ground, it's a bit more of ignorance. I think our level of awareness with respect to fire safety and gas usage is quite low. First, we know that fires are caused, they don't happen. In the first place, in the literature, we have what you call the fire triangle, as some have described it, and more recently, we talk about the fire tetrahedron, which talk about the main element that could result or lead to fire outbreak. One of them is oxygen, which is abundant in nature. Two is fuel, all the various classes of fuel, whether liquid, solid, or gaseous fuel. And thirdly, we talk about the issue of heat. So when all of these three combine, there is a chemical reaction, a chain reaction. And without mincing words, a fire will definitely occur, right? So this incident we saw, if it is at home, because every one of us, we need that energy to prepare food, to do our chores at home, to cook at home. So in the kitchen, you need to cook. There's oxygen in the kitchen, there is fuel in the form of LPG gas, and we all have our matches or our, what you call the lighter, which introduce the heat. And all of these things, when used in a controlled environment, will be safe. But when there is a misuse, then the likelihood of a fire occurring is most inevitable.
Because the story we heard is that the one that occurred in Port Harcourt, so happened in a gas plant, and somebody was welding in that gas plant, which resulted to the fire outbreak. So that means the trihydrate was complete, but there was heat, there was fire, there was
Oxygen.
oxygen, and also there was fuel. So it is very important that in an area where gas is being used, there should be no what?
No fire, no naked
No
flames.
naked fire.
Okay, let's even speak to that. In a gas plant, I don't understand why such incompatible activities will be taking place at the same time. So a gas plant area should be properly separated from welding activities or certain activities that involve naked flame. You understand that? So people should get this kind of awareness. Two, the authorities should wake up, the regulators. When you siting a gas plant, you need to know the activities that are taking place around such places. If the gas plant was there first, the man who is coming to fix a welding workshop there should give safe distance. Otherwise, the man is just setting up what they call a chain reaction that will kill people in the long run. Two, we need to also know too that in safety, this body of knowledge we call signages, safety signs, are very important. Beside the the welding workshop, other issues that can give us trouble could be mobile phones. You understand? Because mobile telephony can also become a serious issue because of the electromagnetic emissions, that electromagnetic wave that's been emitted within that gas field, which can also lead to explosions of fire. So we recommend that the safety professional should be consulted so that appropriate signs, warning signs, will be put in place. You understand? Two, vehicular movement into welding, into what's it called, gas plants, should be checked to ensure that there is spark arrestors. All right, so that all of these are precautions to ensure that issues of spark leading to fire are what are identified and mitigated before it lead to fire. Then at home, we also need to know that the LPG gas has several components. For you to cook with a gas burner or stove, there is the element of a cylinder. The cylinder needs to work with a regulator. The regulator has a hose connected to it. Then the gas burner has knobs. So if someone forgets to turn off the knobs, you understand that, and there is leakage, the kitchen will be saturated. And once it is pressurized like that, and there is a source of heat by strike of the matches, there will be what? There will be an explosion. So these are the core areas from a little risk assessment we can talk about that we need to check. Ensure that your gas bottle is not leaking. To determine this, anytime you fill your gas in the gas station, the guys, they tell them to help you check. They use soapy water, pour on the valve. Once there are bubbles, it tells you that there's a leakage. It can be checked just by fixing or replacing the seal. And if the seal does not change it, no, you need to replace the valve. Two, if the regulator is also bad, when you turn off the knob of the regulator and gas is still passing, it shows the regulator is defective. So there is continuous flow of gas, which is not good.
How can you know that the gas is still passing?
It's still passing.
Yeah.
So when you turn off your regulator, it should lock. It should lock to talk. But if it is turning 360-degree, it means the knob is bad. The regulator's knob is bad. It needs to be changed. You understand that? So that is another way to determine that. Three, check your hose. If there are cracks on the hose, because with usage, at least after a year or two, you should go and look at the hose to ensure that there are no cracks on it. Three, you now look at your burner. If the knobs are also defective, it means the passage of gas is not controlled. And when you come into that kind of environment, your kitchen, where you've locked your door overnight, or you went out in the morning, you came back in the evening, you observe that the gas is smelling. You understand that? The first thing to do is not to strike your match. It's to open up the doors, the windows, increase ventilation so that the place will be safe for you to start your cooking. Again, we need to make the point that it is also best practice to keep your gas bottles outside your kitchen. Yes, some persons have told us that the gas could be stolen and all of that. It is better to be alive to replace the gas bottle than to expose yourself to gas explosions. Because once there's a fire and the gas bottle is inside the kitchen, the ability to turn off the regulator to cut off supply of gas becomes a significant problem. So it is best practice to keep your gas bottle outside. It will only cost you extra yards of the hose. You understand that? For safety, because it is cheaper to observe safety than to have an accident.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Because say prevention is what is better
Than cure.
cure.
Yeah.
People say safety is
Expensive.
but strike ignorance.
If you
Now you mentioned something about this, a gas cylinder. So is it possible that the gas cylinder can get when this gets expired, it will just explode and cause explosion?
Okay, I think these are opinions in the public space today that are not yet substantiated in the literature through research. So far, so good. A very good check on the literature as to whether expired gas cylinder bottles can lead to explosion is not yet substantiated. What we see in the literature is more or less of gas leaks. Gas leaks is the primary causal factor. Then we can talk about misuse of gas. I think I was privy to a story some years ago where someone was using this camping gas, and two of the camping gas were used simultaneously. This fellow had just filled one while the other was burning. While trying to insert the burner, there was a little escape of gas, which led to the explosion. You understand that? That's a clear case of misuse. So when you need to fix your gas cylinders and components, ensure that it is safe to do so. It is not safe to do so in the presence of naked flame, oxygen, which is abundant in the atmosphere. When you do that kind of experiment and there is flame ready, you have already completed the fire tetrahedron, and there will definitely be fire. And the incident following will be very catastrophic because you can determine where you were, but you cannot determine where the explosion will throw you to afterwards. Yes.
But I've noticed for gas cylinder, they get rusty. Can't there be leakage through all those areas that are rusted?
Good. So the fact that corrosion takes place in the presence of air, water, right? So if the gas bottle is corroded, there's a lot of maintenance culture people do now. Yeah, before I forget too, I think what we have seen so far is that the half-life of a typical gas cylinder is about 15 years. So if your gas bottle, and several gas bottles could become rusty because of poor handling. If you put your gas bottle on the bare floor where water can spill on it, it will be rusted in a short while. So learn to keep it. My bottle in my house is behind my kitchen, and the essence is if there is any source of leak, there is proper diffusion. It's elevated, so it is not predisposed to rust. But peradventure your own is rusted, do your best to ensure that you take it for maintenance. Ask the expert. Go to the welders, the maintenance persons. If it is leaking, I have actually not seen a gas bottle leaking from the body. The leakages most times are from the valve. Once it's leaking from the body, it's no longer fit for use. It's no longer fit for use. So the leakages most times she's around the valve or the regulator or the knob inside the kitchen. And if you have your gas bottle outside, you would be able to respond when the fire is at the incipient stage. And that is what we can say. Personally, I don't want to subscribe to the use of this camp gas because most of these fire incidents are more with the camp gas. Because at the place where they feel it, they don't fix the burner there. So coming to fix the burner at home, sometimes inexperience because the person, you are not trained to do that, you may not get it right. So these are issues that can lead to leakage at home, which could also predispose people to fire incidents at home.
So it's very important that we take care of all the gas components. Your gas cylinder, take care of it.
The the
valves,
valves, and your burners.
And your burners,
Yes.
even the body of
your cooking surface, which is your stove. Ensure there is proper housekeeping. You know, when you cook, sometimes you fry, the surface will be littered with oil. That oil again is a type of fuel. So if you have a dirty surface and there is heat, it can also ignite because those soup droppings, those oily droppings on the burner is a source of what? Heat. So it's a sense of fear. Then there is oxygen in abundance. When the burner, the heat from the burner is risen to the ignition temperature, you don't be surprised to see fire spread on your gas stove.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank you
very
so
much.
much. Oh, now you mentioned about oil spray on
Your cooking
your cooking
surface
surface. Now, I'm pretty sure you are cooking and fire comes up. What can you do when it is in the incipient stage?
stage.
What can you do to immediately douse the fire before
It
it gets
escalates.
out of hand?
All right. Now, as safety professionals, will give you the best of advice. Every modern kitchen today, for people who value their life, there should be a fire blanket. Okay? A fire blanket will go a long way to help. That's at the professional stage. Now, to improvise, if you are cooking and while you're cooking, you observe that there's a fire, the fire has entered into the pot. Use the lid of the pot to cover the pot, the fire will go out automatically. The third line of action is to have a fire extinguisher. A CO2 fire extinguisher is advised. It's better than a DCP, a dry chemical powder. All right, so these are actions to take. But preventive, ensure that before you start cooking, you carry out what you call housekeeping, cleaning. Cleaning around your cooking surface is a good prevention to prevent fire incidents.
So cleanliness is next to godliness. And aside from that, it also helps in preserving your life.
Right.
So we should ensure that wherever we are cooking, we should follow the safety procedure. Ensure that there is no naked flame.
No naked flame.
No naked flame where there is gas.
Gas.
Okay. So what are the risks associated with using outdated and poorly maintained gas appliances?
Well, outdated, poorly maintained gas appliances,
gas cylinder.
you are putting your life on the line. The risk of fire is imminent. The risk of fire is imminent. And fire could be very destructive. It could be very destructive. It could lead to loss of properties. It could lead to injuries, first, second degree burns. And at the extreme, it could lead to fatality, which is very, very avoidable and undesirable.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, viewers, like we said earlier, the safety of your life and property is very important to us, and we will not want you to make these little mistakes that can lead to fire outbreak and explosion. Take care of your gas cylinder, take care of your valve, ensure that there is no leak. Be very observant before you put on you strike the match. Make sure there is no smell. You're very observant, make sure there's no smell of gas because we want it to be alive and healthy.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. If you are just seeing us, please subscribe to our channel. God bless.
All right. Thank you.